UTPA women's soccer takes the field for the first time. We'll show you how they're making history. UTPA Volleyball hosting its first tournament in 4 years. We'll get you caught up on all the action. And how many events let you wear black ties with tennies? We'll take you to the Women's Athletic Fundraiser. This is Bronc Country. Hey everyone, and welcome to the start of Season 2 of Bronc Country. I'm Jonah Goldberg. After a summer off, it's a brand new beginning for UTPA Athletics, including the addition of a new sport, women's soccer. And the Broncs played their first ever match at Southern University in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Pick it up in the second half, 52nd minute. That's Andrea Barrera streaking across your screen. Lets the ball fly from 40 feet out. Goal! The first goal in program history. Broncs up 1-0. About 20 minutes later, Zinnia Hanig with a long pass ahead to Emily Ortiz. Now watch this move. Draws the keeper out of the net, but Ortiz is marked. So she comes up with a nice cross to Amy Intulai, who buries it. Broncs up 2-0, and Aubrey Coley made it stand up. Coley came up with 6 saves throughout the match to pick up the shutout and propel the Broncs to a 2-0 win. Coley made 5 saves in a 1-1 draw at Jackson State 2 days later, while earning the program's first award, WAC Defensive Player of the Week honors.
She's a tremendous goalkeeper. We're actually very blessed to have 2 very good goalkeepers on the team this year, which is very rare. We have 2 top quality goalkeepers. Aubrey played those first 2 matches. She was fantastic the whole time.
So with 2 matches in the books, the Broncs were still undefeated entering their first ever home match, and the excitement on campus was starting to boil over. Jennifer Burgum has more.
Alberto Adame says he and his fellow students at the University of Texas Pan American have been waiting for this day for about 2 years, the start of soccer at UTPA. That's when the university first announced that it would begin an NCAA Division I soccer program, starting with women's soccer this school year.
I think we were all able to see how excited people were here in the Valley for the World Cup. So having soccer here at UTPA is going to boost school spirit a lot, and I think it's going to be great having a different atmosphere here on campus with an extra sport, kind of feeling more like a university feeling.
And on Wednesday, August 27th, UTPA and the Rio Grande Valley can cheer on the Broncs as they play their first home game against Houston Tillotson University at the Edinburg Baseball Stadium. Future games will be played at the soccer complex once it is completed. The players say they are looking forward to working as a team and have been grateful of the encouragement they've gotten so far.
It's really amazing. It's such an honor to be playing here at UTPA. Having this high level of soccer in the Valley is really a big thing for all Valleyites, and I'm so honored to be a part of it.
I was in Walmart 2 days ago, and somebody was like, "Soccer, soccer," and was like waving at me, and so I like waved at them, and so that was kind of cool because they recognized that I was on the team.
Women's soccer head coach Glad Bugariu says his players are already part of the Valley and hopes the community will come out to support them.
Well, I mean, this is a big, big moment, not for the university, but for the Rio Grande Valley as a whole. I mean, these are players that are playing at Division I level. They're good female role models for female sports in the Valley, not just soccer, but all female sports. We hope that we have good support at all our games, and that we hope that they're able to inspire the next generation of women's soccer players in the Valley, because I believe there's talent here, and I hope that seeing these players play at this level, they'll be able to have something to strive to get to, and that's a very exciting moment for the region.
Soccer brings everyone together, as we saw. It brings the whole world together. So hopefully, it'll be something that will bring all the RGV community together to support the teams, and not only the soccer team but also the other teams. Hopefully, this spreads out as something that's going to create a lot of excitement around any UTPA sport and cheer up the Broncs.
Reporting for Bronc Country, I'm Jennifer Bergholm.
And with the Broncs playing their first ever home match, local product Erica Gonzalez gets the start between the pipes. She's going to be important later in the match. But for now, we pick it up in the 11th minute. Amy Intulai had a huge week, and it starts here. Fires the cross from the corner, Allison Smith sends it forward, and Andrea Barrera with the finish. Barrera scored the first goal in program history, and now she has the first home goal in program history. Bronx up 1-0.
When I came, I set a goal for myself, and I wanted to score the first goal for the school, and I did it, and it makes me feel really good and confident, and I want to finish the rest of the season out really, really high.
24th minute. Tell me if this looks familiar at all. Intulai not quite as deep this time. She finds Barrera, whose shot gets blocked, but Smith keeps her eye on the bouncing ball and forces it in. Smith's first career goal, Intulai becomes the first Bronc in program history with a multi-assist match. Bronx up 2-0. 18 seconds left in regulation. Bronx lead is 2-1. Free kick for the Rams, stopped by Gonzalez. Picks up the W in her first start. Bronx win, 2-1.
It's so awesome. It's an honor to represent my community. The Valley is my home, and I'm really excited to, be able to represent not only my schools that I've been to, but just everyone here.
First of all, I want to thank the fans for coming out and supporting us. It's very important that we have good home support. It's an exciting time for the Valley and the university to have Division I women's soccer here in what is a soccer area. So we're very happy that we're able to win.
Next up for the Bronx was the start of a 6-match road trip at Grambling State. Erica Gonzalez back in goal and helping her own cause. A long goal kick picked up Amy Intulai, and she buries it. The rare goalkeeper assist. Bronx up 1-0 13 minutes in. 2 minutes later, that's Emily Ortiz on the right with a nice cross for Andrea Barrera. Goal! Bronx up 2-0. Early second half, and it's Ortiz again. This time finding Intulai for the goal. First multi-goal match by an individual in program history. 6-point week for Intulai leads to WAC Offensive Player of the Week honors. Bronx go up 3-0, go on to win 4-0. Game 2 of this trip saw the Bronx play Texas A&M International to a scoreless draw. Aubrey Coley back between the pipes, making 7 saves for her second shutout. It was the Bronx' second double overtime match of the season, and the 4th home opener they've participated in. The Bronx were at Prairie View A&M this past Friday, and although they briefly trailed for the first time in program history, the Bronx scored 3 unanswered goals to win it. Andrea Barrera had a pair of goals, and Jessica Suarez scored her first, which also happened to be the game winner. Aubrey Coley made 5 saves for the win, en route to earning her second WAC Defensive Player of the Week award. The Bronx are still undefeated through 6 matches, now at 4-0-2. There are currently 22 Division I women's soccer programs in Texas. The Bronx are one of just 3 to be undefeated through its first 6 matches at the Division I level, joining Baylor and Abilene Christian. Of course, Abilene Christian was making the transition from Division II, while Baylor, and now the Bronx, did this with brand new programs. The longest undefeated start belongs to Baylor, which went 10-0-1 in 1996. Abilene Christian streak got as far as 8-0-1 last year. Look at those WAC standings. UTPA with the best non-conference record thus far, as they're still undefeated. The Bronx are back in action on Friday and Sunday in San Antonio when they face Abilene Christian and Incarnate Word. Big news in Bronc Country this week, as UTPA hires former Oregon State women's golf coach Risa Alexander to the same position. Alexander spent the last 24 years at Oregon State, coaching the Beavers to 11 NCAA regional appearances and 1 NCAA championships appearance. During her time there, Alexander set up Oregon State to play host to a pair of regionals and 1 championship. She's also been very active with the National Golf Coaches Association, serving as vice president for 8 years before joining the board of directors for another 8 years, 3 of which she spent as president. Alexander was also a very accomplished professional and collegiate player. More on the Bronx new hire in a future episode of Bronc Country. While women's soccer was on the road, UTPA Volleyball was at home, playing 4 matches in 3 days. Next on Bronc Country, highlights from the UTPA Tournament. Every season starts the same way for most volleyball teams. Take part in 3 or 4 tournaments and travel who knows where to do it. But for the first time in 4 years, the Bronx were able to bring the competition to them by hosting the UTPA Tournament. First home match for De'Ara Reynolds since last September, and she made it count. Pick it up late in the first set. Bronx down 18-21, make it 19-21. And then after a kill by the Islanders, it's Reynolds again. Bronx again within 2. Now it's set point, but Reynolds refuses to go quietly. Gets the Bronx within 21-24, but the next point goes to the Islanders, who take a 1-0 lead in the match. More from Reynolds in a moment, but first we start our focus on Maria Kleefolk. Bronx up 22-20 in the second set, when Kleefolk sends it back. Much more from her coming up. Next play, we're back to Reynolds. Team high 13 kills for Reynolds, it's set point. And then freshman setter Mary Kate Clark finishes the job. Her first career kill, match tied at 1. We promised you more from Kleefolk, and here it is. After going without a block in the first set, Kleefolk had 4 in the second set, 2 in the third, and then 4 more in the fourth to finish with a whopping 10 blocks. That's tied for the 4th most in program history. Bronx fell 3-1, but it was some kind of night for the 5th-year senior.
My teammates set up great blocks. That's why I got the blocks, because they set me in the right position. But that's a great match. I wish we could have came up with a different result, but it was good. It was fun.
Maria was outstanding. You know, she's been consistent for us, you know, through last weekend and through practice. But she really had a breakout night tonight. You know, she's going to be dog tired tonight. She worked her tail off, but it's Maria. That's her. You know, she'll be back doing the same thing tomorrow.
Next day, 2 matches on the slate for the Bronx, starting with Lamar, and this match belonged to the sophomores. Corinne Acuff making her first start, and on the first play, combines with Casey Sanchez on the block. Second play, it's time for a little Anjane Janda. Bronx up 2-0. A little later on, Bronx up 8-7, make it 9-7. Alicia Watson throws it down. Lamar came back to tie the set at 19, but Watson comes up with the kill, then Janda, then Watson again. Bronx go on to take the set 25-22. After the Bronx drop the second set, we move ahead to the third. Bronx down 0-1, not anymore. Janda ties the set. A little later on, Bronx down 1 again, and Janda ties it again. 5-all. Move ahead. Bronx down 16-17. And this time, it's all elementary, my dear Watson. And then some. After a Haley Durham kill, Watson goes back-to-back to put the Bronx up 20-17. A few serves later, we're back to Janda. Bronx up 24-20. They take the set 25-23. On to the fourth set, and the Bronx left no doubt. Set tied at 1, not anymore. Watson gives the Bronx a 2-1 lead, and you know what? They led the rest of the way. Watson finished with a career-high 15 kills.
Alicia came on, and you know, it was one of those things where she's had some things that we've been really trying to get her to focus on. You know, her elbow. She can be deadly for us. She can be a whip of an arm, and you know, she'd been doing some things that were kind of against the grain, and so you know, we really got her to focus on a couple small technical things, and it made the difference.
Janda did her part to make sure the Bronx would win the match. Up 9-5, Janda comes up with the kill not once, but twice. And then, up 27, Janda serves up an ace. Janda finished with her first double-double, career-high 15 kills, career-high 13 digs. Bronx win, 3-1.
That was it was extraordinary, man. Like, getting 15 kills and everything, and have a lot of digs, that's just, unbelievable. I can't really explain it. That's probably the best I ever have, and probably the best game ever I played, best game.
She's had a great day. She's had a great week. You know, she's definitely earned the playing time. She's matured a lot this week, both as a front row player and back row player. You know, her passing has picked up. You know, she's a weapon at the service line for us. So, you know, she's got a huge ceiling. She can get a ton better. She really can, and so I'm looking forward to it.
We're just happy that we have a win, and now tomorrow, go out with a big bang.
You know, the first one was pretty tough. We had to work for it. You know, Lamar's doing some good things. You know, it was a different type of team than we'd seen so far, but you know, it was a relief, you know, to get that taken care of, so that we could then, you know, move on to Tech.
On to the nightcap. Bronx taking on Texas Tech. We pick it up in the third set. Bronx already down 2-0, but they put up quite a fight here. With the set tied at 7, Haley Durham and Kira Hill combine on the block. And then Durham joins Casey Sanchez to put the Bronx up 9-7. Bronx lead whittled to 11-10, but Maria Kleefolk having none of that. First, she takes a feed from Macy Munson for the kill, and then from Mary Kate Clark. Bronx up 13-10. Texas Tech pulled within 16-17, but after a service error, Hill steps up with an ace. And then Janda with a kill. The Bronx go up 20-16 and led 22-18 before the Red Raiders come back to win and complete the sweep. Still, a very different third set compared to the first two.
We stuck to the game plan. You know, we got away from it for a little while. We didn't come out and hit it early on enough. We got into it towards the end of that first set, and then, you know, it didn't click for us in set two. But give the girls credit; they listened in the intermission. They really came out and focused on that game plan. Feeding our middles. I thought that was something we could do, is get quick balls to our middles and be good. And as you saw, it was effective for us.
Bronx closing out the tournament against Northern Arizona and getting off to a good start. Krista Freitas getting the start in the front row and coming up with an immediate kill. And then Haley Durham with the block. Bronx up 2-0. Late in the set, Bronx down 19-24. After a pair of errors, Casey Sanchez comes up with the kill. The Bronx got as close as 23-24 before the Lumberjacks won the set. Northern Arizona took over from there. The Bronx led once more on this Kira Hill kill to start the second set, but the Lumberjacks go on to sweep the Bronx. Here's a look at the WAC standings. Grand Canyon and Kansas City off to strong starts. The Bronx tied with Chicago State and Utah Valley. The Bronx are back in action on Friday at 7 at Louisiana Tech. Black ties and tennis shoes? It must be time for UTPA's annual Women's Athletic Fundraiser. Coming up on Bronc Country, we take you to a special night for UTPA Athletics.
We pursue excellence in the classroom and strive to achieve our potential. We compete on the field with integrity,
on the court with respect,
and in the pool with distinction.
We are strong leaders in our community and gain values from our biggest fans.
We continue the legacy of commitment to our universities, to our coaches, to our teammates, and most importantly to you.
We learn, we compete, we inspire.
We are the Western Athletic Conference.
The ball on the right wing goes for the tie, and he does it again! Nolan straight to the hoop, ties the game! With three, with two, the desperation heave goes in! Jack Mulder from half court! Bronx win! Bronx win! Get your Bronx basketball season tickets now by calling 665-2221 or logging on to utpabronx.com. This commercial is brought to you by Lax Furniture, an official sponsor of the University of Texas Pan American Intercollegiate Athletics. The UTPA Women's Athletic Fundraiser is a time to not only do what the name implies and raise money for women's athletics, but honor those who have made women's athletics possible at UTPA. The Bronx honored former volleyball player Cynthia Sakalinski, former women's tennis player Barbara Gonzalez, and former Blazers dance team member Linda Tovar this year. The trio was honored not just for their contributions as student athletes, but for what they have done since in giving back and encouraging others to give back to UTPA athletics.
I can't tell you how humbled I am, because I feel like I'm really somewhat embarrassed of receiving this award, because I feel like what I'm doing, it's something I should be doing. Because I believe in so much in athletics and Pan Am, because everything's done for me. So for me to be recognized for something that I feel like I should be doing anyway, it's very humbling. And again, I mean, words can't describe on how proud I am of that, but again, very humbled and so appreciative that I'm being recognized for that.
Gonzalez currently works at Region 1 Educational Service Center. Sakalinski is with the Rio Grande Valley Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, and Tovar works for HEB Border Region Public Affairs. HEB was the title sponsor of the Women's Athletic Fundraiser.
I'm truly blessed and thrilled to have received this wonderful recognition today. Just knowing that the partnership that we have, HEB and UTPA, that we have together in working to really inspiring youth in our communities to really take health and wellness to the next level is something that is very, very dear to me. So today is a day of just filled with happiness, and truly I'm humbled to have been receiving this recognition today.
More than just earning this recognition, though, all three were thrilled to have an event specifically geared towards women's athletics.
I mean, these ladies not only need support from the community and from staff there at UTPA, but it's all for education, which is the bottom line. And this type of fundraisers is exactly one of the things that we need in the athletic department, especially women's, because everybody always says the men, the men, the men. Well, baloney. Women are just as important, if not the more important. And so we need to get focus on these women. And make sure that they all get a good education, which UTPA is a wonderful education, wonderful school, and this helps them and gives them recognition in the community. Get the people out there to watch them and support them in their sports.
The women's soccer team helped out with the silent auction, and attendees had the opportunity to meet the newest Broncs during the event. Having been on campus for just a few days at that point, the significance of the women's athletic fundraiser was not lost on the women's soccer team.
Well, I think it's a great event for all of the alumni and the sponsors of UTPA to come out and be able to see us as a soccer team together, to be able to donate money to us, to get our stadium finished so they themselves can come out and watch us play and rock the WAC. So I think it's just a great show of support, and I think it's going to lift us all up.
If you want to help lift up all 250 of our student athletes, donate to the Bronc Athletic Fund today. You can become a member of the BAF for just $50 a year. All of the money raised goes directly to student athlete scholarships, so visit BroncAthleticFund.com today to see how you can make a meaningful impact on the lives of student athletes.
We pursue excellence in the classroom and strive to achieve our potential. We compete on the field with integrity,
On the court with respect.
And in the pool with distinction.
We are strong leaders in our community and gain values from our biggest fans.
We continue the legacy of commitment to our universities, to our coaches, to our teammates, and most importantly to you.
We learn, we compete, we inspire.
We are the Western Athletic Conference.
The ball on the right wing goes for the tie, and he does it again! Nolan straight to the hoop, ties the game! With 3, with 2, the desperation heave goes in! Jack Mulder from half court! Broncs win! Broncs win! Get your Broncs basketball season tickets now by calling 665-2221 or logging on to UTPABroncs.com. This commercial is brought to you by Lax Furniture, an official sponsor of the University of Texas Pan American Intercollegiate Athletics. Here's what's on tap for the Broncs. Women's soccer continues its 6-match road trip with a pair of matches in San Antonio, first against Abilene Christian and then Incarnate Word. Volleyball travels to Louisiana Tech for a tournament that includes Stephen F. Austin and New Orleans, and the tennis teams open their fall tournament seasons at Texas A&M Corpus Christi. At the end of every show last year, we closed with professional Broncs fan and then UTPA President Dr. Robert S. Nelsen screaming, "Go Broncs!" His time as the president of the university came to an end last week, but his impact here will be felt forever. At the Women's Athletic Fundraiser in August, Dr. Nelsen did his signature cheer one last time. For this entire season of Bronc Country, our student athletes, coaches, and staff will pay homage to a visionary that deserves this and so much more. But to kick things off in week 1, let's hear directly from Dr. Nelsen himself one time more.
We pursue excellence in the classroom and strive to achieve our potential. We compete on the field with integrity,
On the court with respect.
And in the pool with distinction.
We are strong leaders in our community and gain values from our biggest fans.
We continue the legacy of commitment to our universities, to our coaches, to our teammates, and most importantly to you.
We learn, we compete, we inspire.
We are the Western Athletic Conference.
The ball on the right wing goes for the tie, and he does it again! Nolan straight to the hoop, ties the game! With 3, with 2, the desperation heave goes in! Jack Fogler from half court! Bronx win! Bronx win! Get your Bronx basketball season tickets now by calling 665-2221 or logging on to UTPABronx.com. This commercial is brought to you by Lax Furniture